Hi, hello, it's me. I definitely didn't forget that I have one of these to record today. Yes, I am back once again. And, oh, I think I'm missing something. There we are. Well, it's that time of year. And I know I didn't wear this last time or anything. And I suppose I only really have to wear this one more time so I can do it. I can bear it. I can bear wearing the Santa hat. It's almost over. We've almost made it, people. Now, I understand some of you might be like, Peppy, why do you hate the Christmas season so much? Why do you want why do you want it to be over so dang badly, huh? Huh? Are you some kind of just what's wrong with you? Are you some kind of Grinch or something? And the truth is, quite simply, I have worked retail too many years of my life to feel any joy for this time of the year. I don't love it at all. But we've almost made it through, and boy howdy did Twitter come in clutch. Really, it wasn't so much I should be thinking my Twitter feed, it's more I should be thinking Twitch. Oh boy, howdy, was this the gift they kept on giving this year. Holy heck. So let's just go ahead and get started. So it feels a little bit like cheating to bring this up, but then again, I had COVID. So I missed a week of updates. So I think we all know that in Adpocalypse is coming to Twitch because of the disastrous rule change that happened a week from Thursday, I believe it was. I literally caught COVID at the perfect time to completely miss the absolute show that Twitch became for like a good 24 to 48 hours. But it didn't really get better. I mean, it got marginally better. But then we started dealing with stuff like this, which I'm going to linger on for about 2 seconds and then go back here. Because I don't know how much YouTube will bonk me. Well, yeah, no, it's a bit of a disaster zone over on Twitch with people just pushing the limits as much as they can, and plenty of people have gotten flack for the nonsense and the shenanigans that they've been up to, and it's quite appropriate too. Let's be real here. Twitch has always been meant as a 13 plus platform where people play video games. And while I'm happy that we do have room for artists there, and I do want the artist community to stay there, the kind of streams that we've been seeing has been perhaps a bit much. But I will say that Rubber Ross actually put out a video where he talked about artistic nudity, him being an artist and talking to a whole bunch of art professors, actually. But how could we touch on this topic and not talk about the fact that Boogie2988 was one of the people that got banned after going completely nude and not even using the meta censor bars because he assumed that his skin flap from his surgery, all his skin flaps and that would cover the offending areas and keep him in compliance. This was not the case. Instead, he ended up catching a ban as well. I did not see any clarification on how long the ban was, but he did have something to say about it. He believes that he was banned for showing loose skin, and that makes Twitch ableist. I don't know how to explain to you that that's certainly not the reason. Boogie has already more or less torched his reputation over the prior years, and I don't see it getting any better. He still sees a great deal of success on Twitch, and I believe he does he upload to YouTube, or did he get banned off of there? Hold up. Oh, no, he's not. No, he does still have a YouTube channel. Good for him. Good for him. But I don't foresee this making things better or easier on him, but you know what? Boogie's community has tried to do a lot to convince him to make better decisions for himself, and they have failed. I have no delusions that I will be able to influence him to make better decisions. But yeah, no. Maybe no, Come a little closer, come a little closer. Maybe don't get naked on stream. I'm not an expert on the platform, but I can almost assure you that not getting naked while you're live on Twitch will definitely improve the longevity of your channel. Will definitely keep you from getting, banned. Moving on. Something that I actually did want to take extra time and make the greater, broader focus of the video was a very interesting thing that was brought to my attention by my darling Amana Dusk, which is this article where the original creator of the God of War series, David Jaffe, posted a video on YouTube sharing that he's not happy with how the series and Kratos evolved, saying the character became too soft. Dusk having to say, LMAO, imagine not wanting growth in the character you've nurtured and created, to see them be spiteful and angry for years to come and influence hate and revenge. While I'm glad the writers did what they did, and that is a hill I will die on, I like Dad Kratos, and quite frankly, so do I. I love Dad Kratos. Now, I've never actually played the new God of War games, but I've watched plenty of people play. I've, seen a bunch of clips, and I've gotten a very clear picture of how Kratos as a character has evolved. And while I don't know the full details of it, what I do know is that it's very interesting to see him, come into fatherhood and try to, put down the angry, violent ways. And yet, plenty of people have pointed out that saying that he's become soft is perhaps not entirely accurate. With us getting a compilation of moments where Kratos was very, very exceptionally soft. So soft. The fragility that I'm witnessing is just, it's so overwhelming. It's just, it's so, oh gosh, it's like he's on an all soy diet. I couldn't help myself with that one. But yeah, thank you very much, Weirdo, for giving us this little compilation of some of Kratos' softest moments in the latest games. Your work is appreciated. There's always been a certain character-driven side to it where we got to sort of understand what drove him, and for a while, what drove him was revenge. And once he got that revenge, well, you have to figure out, what you want to do with the character after that. And a lot of people were very happy with the way things developed. This is actually a sentiment that's been pointed out by a number of people over the years, and that is, I couldn't play the old games now, as said by Sam Stratton here. Angry Kratos fit my age and attitude at the time. He's too much for 44-year-old me. The character has evolved perfectly with age, in my opinion. And there's something to be said about media growing with its fans, Some of the best series have understood that the appeal that they had to their original fans sort of wavers and changes, and where a lot of people were like in their teens, 20s, and that when the original God of War came out and played through as a as an angry, violent, rebellious youth, we've grown up since then, I mean, I'm not in my 40s. I'm in my I'm what do we want to say? I'm in season 2 of age 29. There we go. I'm in season 2 of age 29. I'm fucking 30. But overall, the sentiment is that a lot of people who really vibed with being, this constantly angry, force of destruction and murder and mayhem is just doesn't resonate with people anymore. Well, at the very least, it doesn't resonate with a lot of its original fans. who, grew up and probably, settled down, got a, regular job, partner, maybe has kids and that. And so now doesn't really want to play a game where all they are is just a wild, destructive id. They like having a character who, is still rough and tough, super gruff and other things that rhyme with gruff, and are dads and still have that, sense of, humanity in them, where they feel like characters and not just, agents of murder and destruction. This actually reminds me of this person that I used to work with. They were a big fan of the Star Wars movies, and they had this massive stink over the fact that they sort of humanize Darth Vader by showing him as Anakin and showing his descent into the dark side and having him turn on Palpatine in order to save his son, Luke. Spoilers. But they resented that. They didn't like that. They're like, they just have this attitude of like, oh, just let them be evil. Just let them be, evil. Not every character needs like a redemption arc or something. It's like, I mean, yeah, not everybody needs a redemption arc. Like, sure, but like, did it really ruin Vader? Did it really ruin Vader to have him, realize what he was doing, having, oh no, I'm one of the baddies, and sacrifice himself to save his son? I don't think so. But some people just have a lot of problems with that. Some people have a lot of problems with just allowing characters to be complex, namely when they're villains. They don't want villains that have any sort of moral complexity. And they just wanted to be like, no, just make this person evil. Like, why are they doing bad things? Because they're evil. Why do they want to destroy the world? Because it's the most evil thing you can do. you know they don't want the character to have any understandable motives. They just want them to be this raw force of evil destruction that just does it for the evils. And I think it's a very lazy sort of attitude, a very, very lazy sort of attitude. And I think that allowing characters to grow and change and develop makes them a lot more interesting, a lot more complex. And a lot of people resonate with characters that are allowed to grow and change and develop into different ways. And I'm really glad that in scrolling through the replies to this article, I found so many people who were just like, no, I'm glad this dude wasn't involved with the new God of War games. I'm glad that they decided to change Kratos, that they allowed him to grow and mature and everything. And it gives me a lot of faith in the gaming community to invite, complexity and nuance into characters, because sometimes I feel like that's maybe something that we're losing, and too many characters can end up becoming a bit, one-dimensional. I want us to keep having like good like stories and everything. That's another problem I feel that we face nowadays with some modern games, where developers feel like, well, I suppose I shouldn't necessarily blame developers. There are a lot of developers who would love to make, brilliant, well thought out, narrative driven games, but a lot of times it's the publishers who don't want there to be some very thoughtful, single player narrative experience. It has to be focused on multiplayer, and it has to have, battle passes. The more live service games they can kick out, the better. And I hope that we are seeing a changing in the tides, changing in the seasons, where we move away from the obsession with live service games and allow developers to make games that are just, a nice self-contained experience where you get to play through a game and enjoy the story, and that's that. And it doesn't have to sell you on microtransactions or anything. It can just be a good, solid experience. Something that I've heard about Baldur's Gate 3, which I want to give a big shout out to my darling friend Autumn Hollows, Rain, who actually bought Baldur's Gate 3 for me as a Christmas gift. And you will certainly see me playing that on stream in the near future. And I was kind of like, I don't know if it's really gonna be my thing. And then I'd see like little snippets of it here and there. I'd see, some of the some of the charm and the intrigue and that to it, and it slowly warmed up to me. And then Rain bought it for me, and I'm like, all right. Well, I was already thinking, okay, all right, okay, all right. So yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. That's gonna wrap it up here. Yeah, I feel like you don't need to drag it out any further. We had a lot of fun with this. We had some interesting things to talk about, and yeah, I will be seeing y'all later. I do have stream today, assuming you're watching this Sunday when it came out. And that will be at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be playing some Frostpunk. And otherwise, yeah, keep an eye on the community tab. I put my schedule there. Do the whole interaction thing, like, comment, subscribe. You know the whole drill. Anyways, yeah, good to see you. Nice to be back doing these videos again. Ta-ta. Gods, I never stopped and realized just how much it is, how much it hurts getting older. the the amount of times where I would just say like, "Oh, me, I'm 20 mumble" when I was like 27. And then I went to say and then I was going to say I'm 20 mumble after I turned 30 and that, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not 20 mumble anymore. I'm oh no. Oh no." Enjoy being 20 mumble while you can, people. Because once you stop being 20 mumble, you get your membership to the Noisy Knees Club.